Are zoos just prisons for animals? Have you ever wondered if zoos are simply prisons for animals? This question sparks a lot of debate about ethics and how we treat other species. To understand this, we need to look at what zoos are and how they operate. A zoo is a place where animals are kept in enclosures and shown to the public. The main goals of zoos include education, conservation, research, and entertainment. However, the ethical concern arises when we consider whether confining animals for these reasons is morally acceptable or if it is akin to imprisoning them. Animals in zoos often live in spaces that are much smaller than their natural habitats. They cannot roam freely, hunt, or behave as they would in the wild. Their diets and social interactions are controlled by humans, which can lead to stress. In some cases, animals in zoos display signs of distress, such as pacing or self-harm, behaviors that are rarely seen in their wild counterparts. Some animals are captured from the wild to live in zoos, while others are born in captivity. Regardless of their origin, these animals depend on human care and have no choice in their living conditions. This lack of freedom raises the argument that zoos are similar to prisons, as they restrict natural behaviors and autonomy. Critics argue that keeping animals in zoos infringes on their right to freedom. Animals are sentient beings capable of feeling pain and pleasure. Confining them for human benefit, whether for education or entertainment, raises ethical questions about whether these actions are justified. Additionally, there is concern that zoos may promote the idea of human superiority over nature. By displaying animals in cages, zoos might suggest that it is acceptable to control and dominate other species. This can undermine respect for animals as individuals with their own needs and interests. On the other hand, supporters of zoos argue that they play an important role in conservation, especially for endangered species. Breeding programs in zoos have helped prevent the extinction of some animals. Zoos also contribute to scientific research that can benefit both captive and wild populations. Proponents claim that zoos educate the public, creating a connection between people and animals that can lead to greater support for conservation efforts. When managed well, zoos can provide high standards of care and enrichment for their animals. The ethical acceptability of zoos often depends on how they balance animal welfare with their goals. High-quality zoos invest in larger, more natural enclosures and provide enrichment activities and veterinary care. They prioritize the well-being of their animals and participate in legitimate conservation programs. However, even the best zoos cannot fully replicate the complexity and freedom of natural habitats. The moral question remains, is it right to keep animals in captivity, even for noble purposes like conservation or education? This is a topic that continues to be debated in ethics and society. In summary, zoos confine animals in environments that limit their freedom and natural behaviors. Critics argue this raises concerns about animal autonomy and welfare. While zoos claim their role in conservation and education justifies captivity, many question if these benefits outweigh the moral costs to the animals. This question does not have a simple answer, as it requires weighing the benefits to species and society against the rights and welfare of individual animals. Each person must consider the facts and decide where they stand on this complex ethical issue.